and snap. And snap. That's more like it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut at this mask. So I want to then paste it on. I can set the gravity a little higher, which would probably be smart right now since my cursor is jumping around a bit, but you have the ability to make the gravity so slight that you might not even notice it so high that you won't be able to get your cursor off the canvas area. And we accept that and clear away the mask. And in the warp mode, paste this down. Okay, so we'll reset that. And it remembers where it came from. And we'll put a few less divisions in here. And the over mode. And what we're going to do is I want to reverse this. Oops, let's go to copy. That might be a little helpful. We'll see what the texture. Now, we get a basic placement here. This kind of vignette really doesn't do anything any good. But if we go into edit, I can then start laying my points on the side of this. I'm using my control points to change my curve here. That looks like it's almost okay. Now, I've got my side, it's a basic side. I can now control how it gradates from 0 to 100%. Now, I mean, on most systems you can squash that and make it larger, but you can't actually control what goes on internally. So if I want to make a 0 to 100 here and a little bit less exaggerated or more exaggerated than this, then I can kind of split that 30 to 0% over a very large area and keep the other area more compressed. So I can now control the kind of gradation that's going on here. And again, make it curve. So basically almost imitating 3 dimensions. And I have this to kind of look like 3 dimensions. And what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to color correct through it. Okay, so we'll say we like this. We'll curve. Let's select this right now. We'll turn off the grid because it's kind of inconveniencing me at this point. And we'll say stick it soft. And here's an instance where I am just snapping the whole thing down. And once it is down, I go back into tools here and turn off my grid. Color correction. I'm now popped into mass picture mode, and in color correction we can do a quick visualization of this, which does it on the fly, and it doesn't take the mask into a very good account. So normally we'd not want to do it fast, we'd want to do it slow. And what it does is it basically adds into account the fact that there's a mask there. And we'll go back into Revit, and I want to reverse my mask. And we'll just run this way up. And maybe even change the color of it. So you'll notice this kind of even gradation that goes along here. And we can even come in with a select color correction. If I were to want off colors, I have the ability here to go isolate certain color channels. So if I want to, in the blue channel, for instance, the background, if I wanted to take out a lot of blue, I'll over exaggerate here. Let's turn the mask off. I've just taken a lot of blue. It's gone in and isolated that blue color channel, and I can then go in and use that and say add in a bunch of yellow to that same channel, and maybe add in a whole bunch of white because I've knocked it down so far. So there are instances where you don't need to make maps. You go in and isolate individual channels and play with them as you please.
You have that amount of separation of the colors.
Right, but even if you don't, let's say if we reset this and start playing with the red. Again, in this instance, you wouldn't want to shift the colors like this, but I can go in and tweak individual areas without, like let's say I wanted to boost the amount of red or the amount of magenta in the red channel and not do it globally. Might have to mask it off otherwise, but I can come in and say isolate this. So in the red channel, wherever there's red, I can boost the amount of magenta. So it's more to kind of avoid adding masks where you don't need them. But rather than deviating any more from my original intent, the ability to go in and warp the mask on is a really, really powerful tool to making something look even more realistic.
If you wanted to go 3D, you could go 3D at any point you wanted to. With a 3D application, you're not buying a proprietary hardware box. You're that proprietary operating system.
I'm not sure if I should move on or wait for.
Let me ask you, just the other day, a customer sent us a 9-track tape, and we put that directly to film. It came from one of the separators. It was a little res file. It was like 12 megabyte